It's day 10. Hey guys, it's day 10 and I am moving so slowly. I don't know what it is about today. There's a cold going around in our house, just a good old-fashioned head cold. I'm thinking I might be fighting it off. Well, let's hope we're fighting it off. Hopefully not getting it. I don't want to get a head cold. It's not fun. I don't know, but it's day 10. Let's open it up. But I'm dragging. I am dragging. It's one of those days. Or, I don't know. Is it the weather? It could be the weather. Look at George. Hey, George. Kiki. Ooh, we're getting lighter and lighter, guys. This is interesting. We're going back to that bad lighting because okay. I would say, let's see if you guys, maybe you can kind of, it is yellows and like a light, kind of maybe off-white or cream. I don't know what's the difference between off-white and cream? Natural? This is like natural. So it's got yellow with that mixed in. Fun. This is fun. Okay, let's see. Can we read the flower? I'm not even gonna attempt to read that out loud because I have a feeling I'd read that wrong. But I'm sure it's a beautiful flower. But look, it's not caked up, so I actually have to do that. So not only am I dragging slowly, but I'm also like behind on getting stuff set up for the daily video. My goodness. I don't know what he's doing. Just my cat that ate my yarn one time, so now it's like nerve-wracking. But anyway, here we are, totally not ready for the day. And we've got this fun new cheerful color and they're getting lighter, right? Because yesterday's this is fun. I love when there's like multicolors because it just changes, who am I kidding? I love all forms of yarn, right? There's a funness to the multicolor when it gets knitted in because it adds just a fun texture and look. Especially because a lot of them have been solid. So I think having these like pops of ones, there hasn't been a ton that are very variegated. That's the right word, right? Variegated. Heidi can talk today. There hasn't been a ton with variegated colors. So I think that adds even an extra element of like this fun, like, oh, there's this one. I'm thinking like day 2 or 3 kind of had that like red orange. Day was very beautiful. But actually, has there been one since then? I'm not sure if there has. There might be one more in between. So this will be fun. This will be a nice, we're getting towards the end of the sock, which is crazy. And then we'll be starting sock 2 for day 12 through 24. I'm trying to decide if I should, now that I've made this sock, I realize I could have added in a little more of each color. So now I've got to decide if I should just do that on the second sock since it's scrappy anyway, or should I almost match up row for row of like, okay, it's different, but each stripe is even on both socks. I just got to think about it. So we've got this. We need to go turn it into a cake of yarn. I'm still feeling like I need to like make sure I'm calling these different versions. So, hank of yarn. When you get like pre-spun but can use ball of yarn, that's just called a ball of yarn, right? And then when you put it on the spinny thing, the ball winder, isn't that called a cake of yarn? I don't even know. I should just look it up, right? If you feel like informing me, I'm down because I'm feeling too lazy. To do that. So we've got this, and and I'm also feeling a little bit like my older kid's school is going to call me, because last night I was like, I'm gonna feel too tired in the morning to want to call them to let them know that neither of the 2 older kids are able to make it to school today. One of them has the head cold and he's informed me that walking around with a runny nose and a mask is disgusting, which I was like, yeah, that's makes sense. And they're not supposed to go to school if they have a little anything. So I was like, okay, cool. You should stay home. My other one is on a day trip or even a one night trip with her grandpa, my dad, and his wife and her cousin. We call her cousin now at this point. or my kid's cousin. We're not actually blood related, but cousins. Life changes everything, right? Anyway, so she's gone with them. So I had to call and be like, hey, my kids are, so I was like, oh, last night I was like, okay, let's just get this done with. So tomorrow morning I just get the younger kids on the bus. I don't have to think about their school. Well, when I called and left the message, I was going between saying tomorrow and today because I was like, oh, they're going to listen to it today, so I should say today. But my brain kept saying tomorrow. And by the end of the message, I was just like, I hope they know that my two kids aren't showing up to school tomorrow because one's sick and the other one isn't in town. So we'll see. Otherwise, I get that call that says, I'm sorry, but your child did not show up to school today. And I'm like, but I called you guys and let you know they weren't. So I don't know why they're getting a tardy call. I don't know, guys. I don't know. All right. This is one of those days. I am just moving so slow. All right. Let's do this. Let's get the video done. Let's get the knitting done. Let's hope we get this done before it's like super dark outside. And I'm finally like, I did it. That's how it feels. All right, let's go cake this up. We'll call it that. We'll call it that today. All right. All right, it's caked up. It's so funny how you can take a ball of yarn or a hank of yarn, turn it into a ball of yarn, and it actually fully changes the look of the yarn. I don't know why. Like, I'm like, oh, the yellow's more dispersed. It's probably that. It's probably, I'm assuming when yarn's dyed and there's like sections where it's just yellow or whatever color, that it makes it look like it's right there. But then once you mix it up, you're like, oh, it's actually very all over. It's very variegated. Anyway, so we're ready to cast it on or hook it on. I guess we're not casting, it's already casted. We're ready to connect this to the socks. Guys, I have not been weaving in my ends like I was planning on doing. I'm gonna have to spend a whole day of just doing that. So, what's your favorite way of weaving in ends? I don't have a favorite, but I feel like I should have a favorite. Maybe I should just like look up all the ways and try them. Anyway, this is ready. I'm super excited. I am super excited. I'm just, like I said, I'm just dragging today. Like, or is it just, it's the end of the week? It could even be that. I don't know, guys. I don't know. But let's add this in. We have a lot of knitting to do, or it feels like a lot at the moment. We just take a nap and drink coffee today. Read a book. My book. Super good. It's going really good. The Dead Men's Swamp has been a very good read. I've enjoyed it so much. I don't know why on the days that I'm more tired, I tend to be more chatty with you guys. So this is like the vlog of like, or the vlogmas of like Heidi's chatty thoughts. I need to go knit. So I'm going to go do that. And my favorite podcast came out today. You know how podcasts let out their regular day of uploading. Well, today, Friday, is their regular day of uploading. So I still haven't been called by the school. I'm assuming in the next hour or two, that's when they'll call me. If they didn't get my message correctly. So let's go put this beauty on and I'll be back. Okay, we are there we go. We're getting somewhere. We're actually almost done, which is great. I didn't know how quickly my arm was hurting last night. So I was like, oh no, what if it hurts and I can't knit tomorrow? But I was able to get it done. One sock finished, one sock basically finished. I just need to decide. So right now we're at the point in the sock where it's like literally the length. So it's like, okay, I gotta put tomorrow's color in, which I need about this much length to get to, I think, from my heel to the beginning of my toes, I think is 7 inches. And so like being like, okay, now we got to make it to the 7-inch mark. And then day 12 will be the toes. So if I added up everything correctly, which I think I actually did. So cool. So that's where we're at on that. Okay. The question of the day. I don't have a question of the day. We should revisit one of the questions. Ooh, I got a good one. Okay. Do you still send out Christmas cards or Christmas letters or both? Pictures? No pictures? I always feel sad to not have pictures, I'm just gonna be honest. I like getting the card, but I like when I like open the card, having a picture fall out. And I honestly do like a good Christmas letter. Maybe not everyone send out a Christmas letter, but like a few people sending out Christmas letters is always fun. It's very different. So now, as grown-ups, we all have like social media. We basically see each other's lives overall via that, even though there's so much you leave out of that, right? But as a kid, my parents wrote a Christmas letter every single year and kind of just documented all our highlights and of the year, you know, like, oh, like my mom used to quilt a lot. So it'd be like, Denise quilted a lot this year, or made like, you know, a quilt and homeschooled the kids, blah, blah, or like, I don't know, whatever Joe and I accomplished. And I love those letters. Actually, it'd be fun to get them. I know my dad made a copy of every single one from like whenever he and my mom started making them. That'd be really fun to get copies of. I'm gonna have to think through that one. But I love that he has all these hard copies from like the 80s till like, I'm assuming they started before my brother was born, but maybe that's when they started. So like guys, I think they were writing Christmas letters potentially up until I got married. I don't know. Ooh, that's interesting. So I'd have to ask my dad. So I love that those are in there, and whatever was important for that year was written into like our little paragraph. So, you know, it'd probably be like a kind of a paragraph about the family. Then each one of us got like a paragraph and then ending paragraph. So it was always fun for them to write it up. And then eventually my brother took over because he loves writing and is really good at it. And then I think once he moved out of the house, I feel like I might have written some. I remember writing some. So, or maybe all three of the rest of us like together wrote it. I don't remember all the details. So yes, that was a big family tradition growing up. Now I'm kind of like, I almost wish I could start it up, but maybe I wouldn't mail it out as much as just like a Christmas letter to us, like back to us, so that like, you know, in however many years, as my kids are older, they'd find that actually might be fun. I might have to think about that one. I think we should do that. But yeah, that was always, and people always said they look forward to our Christmas letters every year. So whatever my parents were doing, it was enjoyed by all. It wasn't like, oh yay, the Mendonca card, or the Mendonca, not Mendonca Carter, because there was no Carter then. The Mendonca letter was coming. Yo, they seemed to really enjoy it. And then as far as pictures go, pictures weren't always a big thing. It was all about the letter and the card. I'm trying to think when the transition to sending pictures happened. I know we did it. And I know, and nowadays I try to do it for my husband and kids and I, but that doesn't happen every year, partly because my husband's family live like 3,000 miles away from us and we don't see them often. And so it's kind of like, hey, look, the kids are getting older. But then again, they see them on social media all the time. But still not the same. There's something about having that card or that picture that you can be like, hey, look, there's so-and-so that you don't really know, but you're actually fully related to. Family. It's weird when family lives far away. But yeah. So yeah, what is your family tradition? Do you do cards, pictures, Christmas letters, all of the above? I now I'm starting to rethink, maybe we could do Christmas letters back to ourselves so that like through the years, that would be really fun to like read through. I have these like imaginary memory boxes, but for the kids, they're like more like awesome antique wooden chests is really what they should. And like I'm like, someday when Isaac and I die, they'll open up these wooden chests and they'll be like, oh my gosh, look at all this really cool stuff mom and dad put together for us. I've yet to actually make that happen, but I always just think that'd be really cool. You know, like they'd find like their baby blanket and maybe something like that where it's like an accumulation of like all these Christmas letters that we wrote every year that didn't realize we were writing. But anyway, there's Heidi's like hope to be like parenting thing, which I wouldn't mind doing, honestly. I'm not actually against that, and I still kind of hope that someday something of that nature. It might not be the cool wooden chest, but then again, maybe it could be, you know, like you go to antique stores and they're there. You only have to buy 5. That's not a big deal, right? Because I'm not giving them mine, because I have my own that my parents got from like an old friend, and somehow it ended up being mine. I don't know. That's how it is, but it is mine. And I love it. And it's like my wooden chest that is just my old antique wooden chest. So anyway, let's keep knitting. All right, guys, that's a wrap for today. We did it. I honestly this morning was like, I hope I get today's video done. I hope I get today's knitting done. We're done. We're happy. It's a wonderful Christmas season day. I hope you guys are having a lovely day. And in the comment section, I gotta know how we felt about cards and stuff. I love them. Oh, and the other thing is, in this room, my dad used to like string the cards from like the quarter to quarter. This is like the length of so like the long length of our living room, and he would like double up by the end of Christmas season. That was the other thing, was we'd have 2 rows of cards on there. And yeah, we don't get that many Christmas cards these days. I don't know. Like I say, maybe we're less social. That's potentially very possible than my parents were. My parents were a lot more social. Or it's just like not as big of a thing. I don't know. I like them. Send me all the cards. Okay. Well, day 10, that's a wrap. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Okay, P.S. Okay, guys, what's happening here? There we go. Okay, P.S. Yes, the school did call me. I totally forgot to throw that in here. I told you guys, I was like, somehow they're gonna miss that I said my son wasn't going. And I think I finally figured out what's going on. I didn't ask. I probably should have. I think what's going on is when I call for 2 kids. And I think what I need to do is call in for each individual kid. I'll try that, I think, next time and just see if that happens. Because this is the second time this has happened to me that I'm like, I called you guys. I let you know that the kid had a cold or whatever, doctor's appointment or whatever it was. And yeah, so yes, let's hope if this happens again, I'll try it.